Hello, it's Alicia, and I am going to show you some makeup today. Yay! So I want to actually play with makeup, but I already have makeup on my face, so what's a girl to do? I'm going to do some swatches and show you makeup that I've been playing with and that I really like, and I'm going to show you what the swatches look like, and it's going to be great. I'm not going to show swatches of this, but this is what I've got on my eyes today. It's the Honey palette by Colourpop. It's one of their $12 palettes that has all of the monochromatic color stories. So I've got that on today, and I think it's real pretty. But that's not what I'm going to swatch, because this is not like the new. But I do have a bunch of stuff that is the new. So I'm going to grab some of those things and show you those. But I did just get the Melt Cosmetics Vida and Muerte palettes. Muerte. Death, life. So I haven't yet used the Vida palette, but I did use some of the shadows from the Muerte palette. And you can probably see which ones I've dunked into. So there's all of these guys here that I have touched, and then a little bit into this guy right here. So this is the holiday release from Melt Cosmetics, and it's basically the most gorgeous packaging ever. It's actually raised up on this part. The outside packaging was just the soft touch matte, which this part is, but it's actually more textured on here. So yeah, it's basically the most gorgeous thing. So in here you've got just 3 shimmers and all of the rest are matte, so I guess that's probably 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, interesting. Okay. So this is a 10-pan eyeshadow palette. So there's 3 shimmers and then there's 7 mattes. So what's cool is that these pans are actually way bigger than I would expect, just from having ordered it online. So for an example, this is the Colourpop Double Entendre palette, which is just out. So for comparison, you can see like these pan sizes just look smaller, and they are. So these ones have, how much do you have in each of your thingies? Oh, it's probably on the big box, not this one. But I'll just show you. These are like super foiled and kind of crumbly in the pan, if you can see that, but like super freaking pretty. I actually put on all of these like greeny guys, and then I took them off because I wanted a lighter look, which for me is like rare, I guess, but that's what happened. And the mattes blended nicely. They actually weren't as pigmented as I had thought they were going to be. So they blended nicely, but they weren't quite as much color punch as I was expecting, like on first swipe with my brush. Now anytime you're doing like these finger swatches, it's way more opaque than if you just get a small amount with your brush to build it up. But I feel like those colors are just so stinking nice in terms of the tones. But you might be able to imagine I had a pretty dark look going on with these. And I thought it looked really beautiful, but then I kind of felt like, maybe I'm going to redo this because I wanted something lighter and brighter. And that's not really an option in the Muerte. I have a really hard time doing like the rolled R after the, I don't know, or before the T, I don't know. Anyway, words are difficult in Spanish for me because of my ability, or lack thereof. So let's get this deep midnight navy blue. Here is the metallic foily blue guy. So and it's the same thing. It's that very creamy formula. Like, look at that. That's swatch madness. And then this matte feels a little bit to me like the Colored Rain, that deep matte palette they have that's all bright colors. So yeah, those are freaking crazy. I wish I had makeup wipies right now because this is messy, but I'm just gonna grab a pair of Matt's pants off the floor. I usually wipe my hands on my own pants, but I'm wearing new jeans today, so I don't really want to do that. Okay, we've just got these last 4 ones here. This shimmery guy, and then the 3 red tones. So let's get red tone 1, 2. Yeah, these feel very sort of dry and gritty. And again, with this guy, you can see that it's like thick. It's not a smooth and thin shimmer formula. It's like a thick, more foiled formula. So let's get that ridiculous red. Like, how nice are those? And then the last one's got like way more of like a purple in there. So you can see how pigmented these are. How just super nice the foils are. Honestly though, I don't think this one, I haven't worn it on my eyes yet, but at least on my skin, it's not the most, it's not blowing up my skirt. It's like, she's shimmery. Maybe on my eyes it'll be different, but I feel like that foil is really impressive, and that with the shimmer is really impressive. But that guy is maybe a little lackluster. I don't know. Maybe you have a different opinion. But the mattes, like, look at that. So yeah, I haven't used these 3. Actually, I did use this one right here on my eyes. I used it to deepen up the outer corner using the Huda Mercury Retrograde palette, and it worked perfectly. It did what I wanted it to do, and I didn't have any issues. I feel a little stained here. So you can see how much I like put my fingers in there for those swatches. And this one I feel like you just can't really see on camera, but yeah, the foiled ones, I'm curious about how this guy's gonna look on the eyes. It's just like, oh, there, you can probably see it a little better there. See how this green one just looks like more exciting? And then this one has good dimension in it, but that one, I don't know. We'll see. So that's the Muerte. Can't do it all together. That's that one. And then the other one is Vida, which I can say is much easier. So you've got like these taupey guys, and then you've got yellow green and a shimmer green, and then a bunch of matte, light orange, yellow orangey, red, and then that one's your like foiled guy. So this one only has 2 foiled shades. Let's go ahead and do those first. Yeah, you can see again, this has that same sort of texture. Oh, okay, but the orangey one is a little different. So maybe you can see this one's more textured and this one's a little bit more smooth. So if I were going to swatch that business, which I will, you can see it looks a little smoother, and then maybe this green one will be like that foiled situation again. And it's just like thicker. So you can see it's got like that crazy, this one and this one seem to have like that crazy shine payoff. This one is a little bit more like this one. They seem just a little bit more like satiny maybe? Maybe that's what I want to say. So there's those, and then all the rest of the mattes, I'll figure out a way to swatch those too. Ooh. Okay, so these are those guys. Again, these are from the Vida palette. And I wonder if I can get them all. If I go like here, can you see that? Oh, dang. That's lovely. Look at those mattes. Mommy likey. Those are beautiful. Like the swatches are just lovely. Absolutely lovely. Ah, Cam's being cute, as she always is. Okay, and then what I have, 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Let me get those. My fingers are looking a little stained and grody, but I don't think it'll really affect the swatches. So let's grab the last 4. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that. Ooh, that one feels kind of dry. They do feel dry, but I feel like the payoff is substantial, right? Like those look glorious. So let's go 1, 2. Ooh. Okay, so down here is Vida, up there's Muerte. Muerte. Sorry, I'm really sorry. So yeah, those color stories are just like freaking beautiful. Now I really want to take off all my makeup and put on these guys right here. So there's those. They were $59 each, which is pretty spendy. I don't recall whether I got free shipping or whether I paid for shipping on top of that. I think these might also be going to Sephora. I'm not positive. I don't know for sure. So those are just like, again, the packaging I think is the most beautiful thing ever. And there's the swatches. Yeah, they're real pretty. Okay, so the next one I want to show you is it's actually my first, I would call them probably my first, my first palettes from Pat McGrath that I've like used. So I'm gonna show you those, but maybe I'm just gonna go wash this off first. So, burb. Okay, so I have Midnight Sun, which like the outside is supposed to be like the fanciest thing ever, but like it gets a lot of fingerprints on it. So that's whatever. So this is Midnight Sun. I'll try and get it, yeah, so you can see. This guy is more peachy pinky and super reflective. Then this guy is like a pale gold. You've got the copper. I actually really like these two mattes here. I liked using them a lot. This purple actually has like some bluish cast to it. This is, I would just say, like a regular olivey shimmer. A normal like taupey kind of shimmer. This one's more of a champagne shimmer. This is matte, matte, matte. And then, yeah, I'll show you them. I'll see if I can get this texture. This is the gold one. It feels very gritty. So there's that little guy. This one is, I think, her special formula from Pat McGrath, and she feels beautiful. Let's maybe do like little baby swatches. I feel like Emily Noel does these little swatches, and sometimes it bothers me, but I can see why that would be a useful thing to do. There you go. They're just like really beautiful. I'll get the copper and the purple. The purple feels so smooth in comparison to the other three. And again, you can see that like flakiness here for that copper. And this copper is interesting because it's got like silver flecks in it. And then there's the purple. So there are those guys. And the level of shine in this one in particular is lovely. But maybe you can pick up some of the silveriness in that copper, which I think is maybe a little bit different and special compared to other coppers you might already have. Okay, I'll get the 3 shimmers that are remaining, and these ones feel just like not special. They feel like shimmers that you could get from any other company. So I don't know if you can sort of see the difference between like this sort of level of shine and then the shimmer on these 3. But let's see if it actually shows up swatching. Yeah, these feel just like smooth, shimmers. I'm not saying they're not beautiful, I'm just saying they're not necessarily like special. So if I hold these back, Cam's trying to eat some socks. Yeah, you can see the texture of that silvery guy compared to like, these guys are just more smooth over here. So those are the 7 shimmer textures in Midnight Sun. And then the other ones I've got are just 3 mattes, which feel very smooth and happy. And I'm swatching them obviously over top of like fingers that are having some shimmer on them from previous swatches, but here you can kind of get an idea of the color story. I don't know if all together the colors are super inspiring, but I think individually like this, while it's not a special formula, could potentially look really nice if I just had a nice olive smoky eye and I could blend it out with these two here. But that one I think is like the most special. And that gold is pretty nice too. But yeah, I'm not positive that these Pat McGrath eyeshadows are so different from other eyeshadows that you would need to spend so much money on them. I did, and I've used it a couple of times. I haven't used it a ton, but I'm going to try and figure out whether I think they're actually special. Okay, so then the other thing I got from Pat McGrath are 2 of their, I think they're called like Blitz Astral palettes. They're the little 4 pans, and I got this guy here, and online it does not look, that green that you see there does not look green. It looks maybe more like pinky, maybe. Oh, there you go. Okay, so see up here it looks green, and then down there in the reflection it looks like purpley. So it's actually a very interesting duochrome, and that's sort of, does that help? Yeah. You can see the green is really bright, and then that is more like a violet shift. The other 3 are not duochromes. You've got this gold, this purple, which is deeper than that one. I'll actually swatch them next to each other if I can. This blue I think is pretty, and then this is the green-pink duochrome. So next to Midnight Sun, here's the, there's the yellow. You know, maybe I'll put them over here. So there's the yellow in the mini 4 pan. Here's the purple. You can already see, even though they're not close to each other, this one's way lighter, that one's way deeper. There's the blue, which is a very nice, pretty shimmery situation, and then there's the green purple. You see the green, and for me, I definitely see the purple in there. So just to be thorough, I'll pull back out the Midnight Sun and I'll put the gold right next to the gold and the purple right next to the purple so you can see the differences. Let's just do the gold and the purple. So these two, oh, sorry. Here's the purple next to the purple. So pretty different. And then the gold next to the gold. Maybe not quite as different. The one in Midnight Sun is paler, but not super, super different. Okay, and then I have one more, and it's this guy, which is the other one. And this is kind of like that Bronze Obsessions palette. Now, I guess we should compare this one to the special one here. Oh my gosh, lighting is not helpful right now. It's like too bright to see these almost. And I'm just in front of like a window, so I can't change the lighting other than pulling back like that. So let's get this guy from this one. And we'll just put it right there. Is that close enough for you to compare the two? Maybe. Okay, I'll put them next to each other. So let me get you the brown, another freaking gold. Actually, no, just kidding. That's copper. And I'll put it right here so you can compare with the two golds from Midnight Sun. And you can see it's lighter than this copper right there, and definitely deeper and more orangey than these two golds. Here's the brownie guy. So that one you can see is like a nice shimmery brown. And then the last one is what, that red guy. Here's the red guy. I think that's pretty. It's red, but it's not a bright red, it's more jewelly and deeper. So which one's that? Okay, so I wanted to show you this. This is from the 4-pan. And then I'll grab the shimmery guy from the Midnight Sun, which, there you go. You'll be able to see Midnight Sun is, oh gosh, this one on my middle finger, and then this one is from the 4-quad, and you can see the Midnight Sun one is more silvery, and then the one in that 4-quad that looks like the Bronze Seduction palette is, there's the two of those. So you can kind of see the tonal differences. One's more silvery and one's a lot more gold. They're both really beautiful, and I kind of want to try and wear them as highlighters just because they're super pretty and reflective. I don't know if they would be too pigmented. So they're not exactly the same at all, although the texture of them is very similar. So there's an amalgamation of Pat McGrath swatches. These two together are very Christmas vibes. There was the comparison of the purples, the golds. Those coppers I think are different enough for sure. This one's a lot brighter and has like the silver reflex in it. This one is more of a solid color shimmery guy. So there's those. I like them. Yeah, but it does kind of make these like straight up shimmer ones seem kind of normal, basic, not super special and exciting, which sucks because they're so expensive that they should all be like that. Super special and exciting. Just my perspective. So I want to do more, but I don't know if I should, so this is either goodbye or it's not goodbye. It's not goodbye because look, I have one more. This is a little mini guy that I got for like 24 bucks from Sephora, and I think it also came with like a mini mascara of hers. So we just have 4 shimmers and 2 mattes in here to swatch. So these actually feel a lot like the Makeup Forever foiled palettes or the Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow formula, perhaps. So here are the 4 shimmers in this palette. Let me back those up for you so you can see them a little better without so much glare on them. And then there's just the 2 mattes in there. So let me find something to wipe my fingers on. Once again, sorry Matt, it's your pants. And then we'll get this beautiful warm brown and then this black. And I think this black is what reminds me the most of those Makeup Forever sort of like cream formula. Very nice matte black. And then this pretty chocolatey brown color. So there's those ones. I don't remember what this palette was called, but I wanted to try her formula without spending a butt ton of money. And it was on sale, so I got that. Now what you can see here, see that like texture where I first laid down the shimmer swatches? I don't know if that bothers me even, but it is one of those things where like your swatches with a brush, like I just smoothed them out and took off like that much pigment in just smoothing them out. So I think they're really beautiful, but I don't know how unique they are because I bet you if I showed you these against those Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows, I don't know that you would think they were that different. Although again, this Pat McGrath palette was reasonably cheaper than the others I used. I actually used these two shades today as like an eyeliner over the Honey Colourpop eyeshadows, and they're a nice creamy formula, which is how I knew I would be able to get them to be like sort of a smoked out eyeliner. Those are very pretty, but maybe not like super unique to me at least. So let's see if there's anything else I could show you that would be nice to demonstrate that. So like here, let's wipe that off, but only halfway. So like I just taken off half. And then let's see if I can actually find something similar to those that's not Pat McGrath to show you what I mean. And I'm not positive where I keep all of my like foiled shadows right now, so hang on a sec. Okay. So, I think I might have some in here. These are just a palette of like single shadows that I have from multiple different companies. And that one might be similar to this Pat McGrath guy. So let me just pick individual ones out and show you. So this one is from, this says Feather River Body, but this is from the brand that's now known as Sydney Grace. This one feels definitely more like a powder, but let's just compare it to that guy. So this one's Autumn by Sydney Grace, and there's the Pat McGrath, there's the Sydney Grace one. I'm pretty sure my Sydney Grace shadows are about $6, $7 a piece. Let's see, this one looks pretty foiled. This one is, who are you? Oh, this is a Colourpop one. This one's called Heads or Tails Metallic. So let's take that guy and compare that. I'll just put it right here. Ooh, 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 ooh. Don't fall. Everything's falling. So there's Heads or Tails Metallic. That one's a Colourpop shadow. That one again was Sydney Grace Cosmetics. Over here are all the Pat McGraths. So I don't know. Maybe you feel like it's different enough. I feel like that one I just did, the Colourpop one, is pretty nice and shiny. Still looks nice and smooth. Not an exact tone match for sure, but let's grab one of these like gold guys. Are one of these good enough? I don't know if these are good enough. So like not good enough in terms of the formula obviously, but of the color, because that one's a lot more orangey. So let's see if I've got like a more orangey one somewhere. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, so here I'm pretty confident that this is going to be, oh, this one's also Sydney Grace. This one is in the color Brilliant. And let's put that here. So there's again Pat McGrath. Here's Sydney Grace Brilliant. I don't know that they're different enough to warrant that super high price tag. Okay, let's grab this one. I know for a fact is a a Makeup Geek foiled, and this one is in the color Starry Eyed. And I've had these for a while, but let's just put it there, and you can see the level of like shimmery shininess And again, the tone for sure, I agree, is off. But in terms of formula, I don't know. Ooh, okay, this one right here, this is called Fallen from Sydney Grace. And it does remind me a lot of that Midnight Sun palette color, that olive one. So let's swatch those next to each other and just see how close they are in finish and in color. So Midnight Sun is over here. I'm definitely going to drop something because now I've got like 12 eyeshadow palettes in my lap. Okay, so here's the Sydney Grace one, right here. And then there's the Pat McGrath one. It's a little deeper. This one's a little yellower. A little bit more yellow. This one's a little bit not quite as yellow, but let's swatch them. So this one's Pat McGrath. And then here is my Sydney Grace one. Ooh, the Sydney Grace one actually is smoother and thinner. So you can sort of see the difference there. It's maybe more different than I thought, but again, I wasn't specifically looking to dupe it. I just saw one in there and I was like, oh, those look similar. So let's put those next to each other right here. That's the Sydney Grace. And then here is the Pat McGrath. Thicker. Oh, it does look more foily, right? There's a bit more dimension in it potentially, while the Sydney Grace one is maybe a bit more smooth. So let's keep going. This is kind of fun. Let's see what else I got in my singles here. All right, here is those are a bunch of mattes. I think these are going to be a bunch of mattes as well. And since we've got mattes, this is also just in a freestyle Colourpop palette. Let's just grab that black. I'm going to guess that one's from Colourpop. It is. That's called Let's Do It. And then let's find one that was similar to that chocolate color right there. Let's maybe get like this one, which is Feathered by Colourpop. So let's see. So here's Feathered, and then Let's Do It maybe. So there's the comparison between Pat McGrath, which is down here, and then Colourpop. And then the same, here's the black matte from Colourpop compared to the black matte from Pat McGrath. So, this isn't to say anything about like blending. This isn't to say anything about like anything else, but look how freaking similar those are. And the Colourpop shadows are $5 or $6 a piece. So and I know Feather River Body, now Sydney Grace, is owned by this sweet girl named Heather, and I think she's in business with her sister, if things haven't really changed. Let's pull back out this guy here. So this was the Midnight Sun palette. And remember I told you I thought like these three here, this guy, which we just compared to a Sydney Grace one, and then these two right here seem to be like normal eyeshadows. And not normal as in like, I don't know, not like necessarily like bad quality or anything, but they don't seem to be as special of a formula. So let's see if we can find dupes for those two. So you can, let's just see. So there's those two. Here's one. Here's the other. And I'm gonna look and see in my little shimmer freestyle palettes here if we've got anything similar. So these are all a bunch of duochromes. If you want to just look at that for a second, because they're so beautiful. So since those are more like special, probably not gonna find anything in there. Here, maybe that one. This is Laura's Memory, which is also Sydney Grace. And there's that guy. Way more orange than the, this one here is Pat McGrath, that's Sydney Grace. Way, way, way more orange. What about this one? This right here is Fireside by Sydney Grace, and let's compare that to like, oh, way more peach and yellow, so you can see that difference. Like up here is the Sydney Grace one, way more yellow, and then that's the way more pinky one. But like if you just look at finish, are they really that different? Maybe they are. I don't know. Okay, let's see. I got shimmers in here. That one's pretty. Might be a good dupe for this Pat McGrath one. No, that's going to be way more pink. Oh, actually that's pretty close. So this here compared to that there. Man, that's hard to see. Okay, I'll do it on a different part of my person. Ooh, actually that one might be a really good dupe for it. That one might even be better. Okay, so the one that I think is better is Whimsical from Makeup Geek. So I'll pull that out on one finger, and then I'll pull out the Pat McGrath Shimmery Champagne Guy on another one. Oh my gosh, why is it so fun to just like put your fingers in makeup or other stuff? Okay, so this is Whimsical. It's one of those foiled shadows from Makeup Geek, and I just jammed in there for that. And then next to it, let's get the Shimmery Guy from Midnight Sun, which is, oh, okay. Again, colors are not quite, this is the Makeup Geek one, and it's way more like bright and pinky. And then this is more peachy champagne-y. And let's do them like here. So in terms of like the formula though, I was just wiping down like the extra like powder, and I would say those formulas are super similar. I want to like make it darker so you can see it better. It's weird to take light away so you can see it better. But those I would say are very comparable formula. So if you are looking for individual Pat McGrath shadows that you like the color of, maybe consider Makeup Geek. I actually think the Makeup Geek foiled ones are closer to $10, so maybe not quite as accessible, but that seems to be, to my eye, super comparable in formula. So I would maybe, again, consider those. And then consider these work both Colourpop, and those are the Pat McGrath ones. We've got some Colourpop and some Sydney Grace cosmetics over on, which ones are the, yeah, this side here is the Pat McGrath. These are the dupey guys from the less expensive brands. If you're looking for this kind of formula from Pat McGrath, consider foiled shadows from these other brands, because I think that's ultimately what's going on there. Is you can see how similar the textures of these two. Again, this one here on my pointer finger is Makeup Geek, and then this one is Pat McGrath. I would say those formulas are really comparable, even if the shade isn't perfect. So I don't know, maybe that helps you save a little dollar. Just a little dollar here or there. I think they're really, I would say they're pretty comparable, yeah. Okay, I need to stop putting colorful stuff all over my body because I'm making a disaster. And yeah, I hope this was helpful or fun or interesting, or, you know, maybe you're not quite as overwhelmed as I am by all of this stuff that I need to now set aside. But yeah, there's some cool foiled formulas, and even the foiled shimmery shadows in these two guys, I would say, are pretty similar to those foiled shadows from some of these other brands as well. Maybe not this Alegria is probably more shimmery in the Vita palette, but Serape, and then Angelito, Katrina, and yeah, those ones are, I would say, foiled. And then this one up here, Calaca, or Calasa, whatever, that one is maybe more of a regular shimmery formula. So yeah, looks like foiled eyeshadows are a thing. Again, they never, they're not really new, but they are now in some fancy brands. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna go do something else. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.